playoffs is maybe a minimum for teams.
Yeah.
If I put it more into power,
If we say a final result,
yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I mean, I would probably say. I mean, as a final result, I think it would be satisfied with the top four.
Hi everyone, it's Tom reporting from the LEC Spring Split, and with me here is Comp, who just won the first game of this split with Vitality. How are you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I imagine getting that win in feels pretty good, especially after yesterday, where maybe you guys should have gotten a win. Now getting that win must feel extra good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we didn't start. Let's say we didn't start on the right foot yesterday, but we still kind of know that the game was pretty much won yesterday, also, right? So we just want to make sure that even though we lost yesterday, we still knew about we still knew the reasons why we lost, but also we knew that it's not the end of the world. It's just a game, and we just need to move on.
Yeah, and I don't want to dwell on the results against Schalke too long, but what did
Yeah.
you take away from it as the lessons that you mentioned?
I think it's mostly just on, let's say, the ending that was supposed to be when we didn't finish. Just miscommunication or just, yeah, just miscommunication on what everyone was having in their mind to do. Basically, we were not thinking as one, and that's why I think we lost in the end. But yeah, I think that was pretty much the reason, the communication in the end.
Yeah, and overall throughout the game itself, you guys played pretty well against Schalke 04, and now obviously again against Misfits, you guys were pretty comfortably in the driver's seat. So heading into the day, was it easy to reset your mind and just focus on the match at hand?
Yeah, it was honestly, we've been, let's say, we have experienced this again. It's not like our first time since we have played more than one split in LC, but also we knew that one game doesn't really define us and that we can just come back and play the way that we're supposed to and we can get the win as we did.
Yeah, so the mood in the team overall heading into the day was just good and confident.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that's good to hear. You whipped out an interesting pick for your bot lane with Ashe and the Arcane Comet, which is something that we've seen like pop up in small bits in other places, but it's not really like a dominant pick at all yet. So, can you tell me a bit more about this pick?
Yeah, so basically, us is one of the picks actually that had a lot of like play rate last year, but this year actually people tend to go more into Kaisa and Samira, and even Zaya now comes back into meta.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's maybe slightly underrated, especially with this build, because basically I feel like this build is used can be used especially well versus very low range champions like Kaisa, like Samira, like Zaya, and like other roles also like Alistar, Renekton. So it's basically just a peel back AD carry that has really low cooldowns on arrow also, and just also gives extra damage to its team with the mandate build. And this game, basically, I didn't really have to be the main carry because we already had Lucy and Talia damage, so I could just be a second damage here, let's say.
Yeah, and is it obviously you're well versed in playing AD carries, but is it for you maybe strange to adapt to this position where you have to be more support, or is it not that strange for you? Because we've seen, for example, also last year we saw Senna where the AD carry sometimes has to sit back a bit more.
I mean, I honestly don't mind it. I think this build actually has made me a better Ashe player on the arrow thing. So because basically the arrows are really short, right? You actually have a lot of chances per game to throw many arrows, and yeah, I feel like you actually get better by playing this build on the arrow topic at least.
It's like a target range where you constantly have to.
Yeah. Basically, you have arrow. Basically, since I actually play also Ultimate Hunter, if you get some takedowns, you have lower cooldown your ult. And yeah, at one point you can have like 40 seconds, 45 seconds cooldown, and it's like really insane. So yeah, you have many arrows to throw.
Yeah, we saw many arrows fly across the map as well. So you attempting a prey arrow when Vegeo was recalling in the top lane as well. Unfortunately, didn't work out there, but you guys were still able to close it out. On the back of this. I also want to talk a bit more about the team itself. Now, obviously, Vitality as a roster is has stayed largely the same. Only top lane changing Shigenda. So for you, at the end of last year and heading into this year, how are you feeling about this roster you have now?
So the roster is pretty much the same with the new change of the Sikenda coming in. I mean, pretty much I feel pretty good, let's say, because I feel like before the end of the summer split, which was sad because we didn't make playoffs right in the end, which was honestly really close. We were performing pretty well on scrims, and I feel like on stage too, we were taking down big teams like Rogue and Mud. So yeah, I felt like coming into this split and into this year, if we kind of kept the important stuff of the last split, we could start becoming a strong team from the first week. So yeah, that's why pretty much I'm really confident with how the team is going.
So for you, it's more that this team just needs more time to play together, because we saw like you guys had visa issues with Milica last year, and then Skeens obviously only came back in week 5 of the summer split this year. So now you have this team for the remainder of the split. Is that you feel that's going to give a big advantage to you guys?
Yeah, of course. Like if you compare last spring with this spring, the last year was pretty messed up, but right now it's like everything starts off nicely. So yeah, it's better for the players, it's better for the team overall.
You obviously have a long way to go still in this spring split. There are many more matches left to be played. But people have been talking mostly about, okay, who is at the top? They say G2, and people are hyping up Rogue. Fnatic is obviously also another team that's always discussed there. When we look at the bottom teams, I think many people have been making fun of Astralis. When you compare your team as it is now to the other teams, what do you think you guys can accomplish this split?
I think we can. I mean, for sure, our goal is to make playoffs, right? I think that's everyone's main goal for now. So yeah, that's pretty much what is on our mind right now, and we just look to take game by game as serious as possible.
Yeah, and playoffs is maybe a minimum for teams.
Yeah.
If I put it more into power,
if we say a final result.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I mean, I would probably say. I mean, as a final result, I think it would be satisfied with the top 4.
Top 4, yeah. I mean, if you look compared to last year's performance, it would obviously be already a massive upgrade. To kind of round up the interview, I do want to ask you something that we saw develop in the summer split, as you already touched on, is the developing team dynamic. And we don't know a lot about the insides of Fnatic. You're not like as a public team as like posting meme videos like G2 does, or so tell me a bit about, how are the dynamics in your team, and is that already like, are you guys already like a big family now that you've played already, and how do you see this develop over the course? Do you guys are you guys already in sync, or is it only going to get better?
Yeah, so I think overall the team atmosphere is honestly really nice. Everyone gets along with each other, and of course, there's like the time that we're professionals when we go into a match, but there's also a time where we can just sit down, let's say, as a family and have dinner together and stuff like this. So overall, the atmosphere is really nice. And yeah, there are actually many people that you don't really see on the cameras, right? That actually help a lot of the team. In many topics, right? It can be in terms of mental, about the mentality, about the way that you treat yourself and you take care of yourself. So yeah, I feel like everyone puts on a big role on why we are who we are and why we can be very good.
All right, Com, thank you so much for joining me, and good luck in the rest of the split.
Hey, thank you, man. See you.